All right, everybody, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. I am once again your host, littlerugaard, and joining me today is Gannicus the Manicus. Welcome back to the show. Good to have you. How are you doing today, sir?
Yo, Rugaard, I am super, super good. Excited to see both our teams today. And like you said, this is the show, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun to see what happens with the next couple of hours.
Oh, for sure. We have Cerebral Assassins going against, and I pray someone corrects me at some point, Saloedi? I am at a loss for how to pronounce this name, and I apologize. I am uncultured. They used to be Raymond. They changed their name, Saloedi. That's what I'm going with until corrected earlier. But honestly, I'm anticipating a really good matchup. I think these two teams are actually pretty evenly paced. We've seen both sides, have their ups and downs throughout the season so far. And what better way to slug it out than with a double back-to-back twins on Wrecker's Yard?
Yeah, it's like you said, they both have almost identical records. So I know they're both hungry, to prove themselves. And like you said, man, twins on Wrecker's Yard. It's gonna be a slugfest. Like you were saying, I think it's gonna be a huge slugfest. I'm excited for it. There's nothing like seeing a slugfest with good old Victor.
We say slugfest, and it's no pun intended. Maybe a little bit. Okay, maybe probably pun intended, but I think that's exactly what we expect, especially on Wrecker's Yard. I was talking with Guilt earlier. It's not technically a small map like Cold Tower or other ones, but there's nothing on the outskirts that's worth mentioning, so it actually feels a bit more tightly contained. So it kind of feels like a smaller map, and you got that center hook and base. It feels like just a naturally predatory map for twins.
Yeah, like you're saying, it's there's really not a lot of things to talk about it. It's not a huge map. It's a nice map for twins to just
Hmm.
kind of roam around and be able to just get hits with Victor.
Couldn't agree more. And with that said, we are actually loading to the match right now. So coming at you fast. We'll be there in just a second. But worth mentioning, I think, is despite the fact that twins, be a shoe in, I think we've seen up to 2 matches so far with twins on this map. And surprisingly, they seem to be kind of in a rough position. But we'll see what we have as we are into the game. And here we have Victor being deployed immediately. Interesting tech. Usually we see them trying to get hit with Charlotte, but they do find a survivor immediately, and they are going into this TNL wall.
Absolutely. Now this is great to find a survivor that quickly in this map. Oh my goodness! Now you can like roam around with Charlotte and see if you can get any more damage done.
Right, but I would expect here. Ooh, there is a totem worth mentioning, but did they see the Fang go off to the other side? I guess they do not care about that Fang Men, as they do sense a survivor here, and they are going to find the Steve. And I think they're going to get a hit here before the pallet. They do, and Steve is going to be injured. So 2 survivors injured so far, so they know by now there is thanatophobia in the field, which, I mean, we kind of talked about before with, certain killers. Thanatophobia is just a shoo-in, right?
Absolutely, especially with twins, shoe in big time. Now Scuba Steve looked like he dropped pallet early.
That makes sense. You don't want to be caught with your pants down on this pallet. Oh, Victor getting the. Oh man, that was brutal. I thought they were trying to stay on the pallet so you have that safe zone before you fall back down, but they overvaulted, and Steve's gonna get a little bit of extra time on this chase. But Victor coming out again. We'll see if we have a repeat here.
Yeah. Now also this is a nice down from Scuba Steve. I was actually about to say Scuba Steve is actually one of Cerebral Assassin's really good runners.
One of the main juicers, you might say.
The main juicers, man. I've seen that dude do some things. So, getting Steve down is kind of a W for a Twins player right now.
How did he slide off that sort of? That was a really weird collision. Though I'm surprised they're not going after the injured Kate here, instead opting to try and get this Nia. And this Nia, I swear, they buttered this morning because they are sliding off all the places, but they do finally get the hit on D, and they do get the safe unhooks, it seems like, on Steve here, as this pallet is still down and Victor is kidnapped.
Absolutely. Now this is where you kind of have to make a decision. You go for Steve. I would keep on Scuba Steve, but like I said, one of the juicers of Cerebral Assassins is Steve. So maybe this twins goes after somebody else, and it's looking like it right now.
So what it would seem. Sorry, I just realized I had some background noise, so I just muted that. I apologize, but that is a deadlock now, as the corrupt has expired. So these survivors know about at least 3 perks, and if you didn't notice already, the survivors have regressing. We also have ruins, so all the perks know about. I'm surprised that we knew about that totem back there. They have not cleansed it. We see Kate healing here, but it might be a little late as they're chasing blood. But did they lose? And they go, oh, they found another survivor. I cannot tell what this Victor is looking at any given time.
Oh, right now, Victor has to be kind of like foaming at the mouth though, because he's got 3 survivors that are injured. There's only been 1 gen done, Nice down. Let's go.
Oh, I didn't realize. Yeah, Steve was slugged. They didn't go for the hook there.
No.
Never mind. I didn't catch that. That's a good catch. Yeah, this will be the first hook of the game for this Charlotte. Yeah, might be a little bit behind pace here potentially, as D will get hooked, but 1 gen down, and I think with that deadlock, the deadlock was quite far along, so if they go back to it, that could be as 2 gens out really quickly.
Absolutely, and this is where, as your survivors, you kind of have to be like, okay, we know there's ruin. We gotta find it. We gotta find it right now.
The Fang was there. Did they not see it before?
I saw the Fang because of ruin.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of shocked there, but this ruin is getting a lot of value for this this killer right now. Is kind of typical play here. Not just I'm not saying that sassily because of pub. Yeah, and there you see that simultaneous cleanse and gen pop, as that gen is now being blocked. But yeah, they're just gonna camp this out a little bit. Victor taking the left side, Charlotte taking the main, and I imagine they do get a safe unhook here. Oh, Scuba finding that Victor is going to deny. I imagine if you get the safe unhook, you could tunnel out with the Victor, but they deny that play, and they're going to get the safe unhook here. And well, I should say safe unhook trade. They're not even going to hit Steve. They're going to go right back after this Nia.
Absolutely, and this is where Charlotte. This is actually, I think, a great strat, because you have somebody down out there. You have her who's about to be downed. You can go back now and pick that up, and probably Scuba Steve's probably healing that person.
I would imagine so. I imagine we saw, especially for the previous matches, some builds are kind of standard now. Seeing in COTF against Twins, like we're gonna live forever, botany knowledge on some. I think Guildspire was even talking about what was it called, leader and soul guard to just again try and counter the slug play as much as possible. And they do get poofy up, but I do not think that was a we're gonna live forever. I think that was just a standard heal speed.
I think so too, and I agree with you on those. Like, if you're playing Twins, you know there's going to be a chance with slugging, a big chance. So bringing things like, we're going to live forever, Soul Guard, perks really do help you out.
I would agree, as it is their biggest power, and another gen going for these survivors. However, getting the hit through the window on Poofy there, but this Nia is going to possibly get tunneled out here, as that we did not see the decisive strike. Borrow time will give them a little bit of distance, and Steve will take a protection hit. However, I don't know how much distance this Nia getting. They're going to be taking body blocks as much as possible. This, if it wasn't for the fact that Victor's currently being kidnapped, this could be nightmare scenario for these survivors, as they are all injured.
Yes. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, holy smokes, where is Victor at?
Victor's about to come back, though, as they already see it, the respawn, and these survivors are all next to each other, which could actually be the survivor's benefit, as if you do deploy Victor and get it down here, you are going to get kicked. But Charlotte's also here. Yeah, I think they're just going to go for the tunnel here. And to be fair, Thanatophobia at its maximum value here. However, they're going to lose 5% here with the death of Nia. Survivors are not out of the woods yet, though. There's no 3-gen. Look at this gen spread. It's actually like 4-quarter gen spread.
Yeah, this is nasty. But if you're the survivors right now, I mean, you have 3 people that are injured right now. What are you going to do? Do you reset, or do you keep going on gens with as much pressure as Victor gives? Holy smokes!
Oh man, getting the missed kick, and they are going to get the kick on Victor, which is going to be an awful reset for this killer, because that is all the way across the map. And you said it, that Steve and them seem to be going that missing skill check. Maybe trying to reset, or we know that Feng was trying to heal. Maybe Steve getting up in an unlucky time, but that is going to cost him a little bit on the gen progress. And they are trying to reset this Feng Min. Well, they are together. I don't think that matters. Yeah, you see the counterplay right there. They are together. They're going to get the pickup. But Charlotte is hot on their tail. They're not actually that far away here. And we'll have to see if the survivors combat this. A little bit of a replay here. Deja vu. Soul Guard from the Steve. That might be a Soul Guard leader play.
Yeah, that was a good bait by Steve, knowing that he was too much. That Victor was going to take a little bite out and failed Victor big time.
Indeed, but he is going to go down at this window and no kick to be seen, so they are going to get a slug here. However, they do know this Steve is a bit better for pickup, and so they're probably going to take a hook here. However, I imagine this Kate is probably on a hook somewhere. I'm sorry, on a gen somewhere, and yeah, there we see that Deadlock's going to stop this gen. So again, we know all the perks. Deadlock, Thanatophobia, Ruin's out of play. No pop here. This killer's just gonna have to camp this out. This is probably looking to be a 2-out potentially, as long as they reset properly. However, if Victor does get a slug here, if they're not together, this could be lights out. This is the power of the snowball the Twins have.
Absolutely. If Victor finds these 2 survivors first, it's almost game over. It's gonna be a lot of
they have the blood.
And, oh my goodness, here we go.
We'll have to see as we are in the TNL wall. They don't get the reset though. Deliverance from the Steve and the kick from the Nia. That is a complete reset of pressure practically from these survivors. What a turnaround.
What a beautiful play by all 3 of them. Steve knowing that they were down and being able to deliverance right there. Holy smokes, man.
And I think this would be a DS from the Steve doing that deliverance play, and the survivors are going to get the time they need to reset here, I think. Though Victor is coming back, you're going to have to hurry. And yeah, Kate does get and they do get a heal on Kate, but they're gonna take the hit there. But you can't pick up the Steve yet. Yeah, Charlotte's gonna have to go over here because, and there you see the oh my goodness, you see the killer instinct. They are on that gen still. Steve has Unbreakable.
Oh my goodness.
He has the Unbreakable. Oh my word, these survivors are doing such a good job of keeping this killer off of her pressure.
And the thing about it too is that Kate wanted to take Victor.
Yep.
Did you notice that they wanted to take Victor? They stayed on the gen just to get Victor on him. That was beautifully done. Like the fact that Victor could have gone after an injured survivor and instead decided to go after the Kate, wasted more time, and it played right into the survivor's hands.
I would say I'd have to agree. And they're splitting both these gens. Steve is no longer broken, so no decisive strike worries, but they're going back. Yeah, I would imagine these two survivors are probably ganged up on the gen together. 15% slowdown, but it might not. No, they are instead. No, there is a survivor here.
Oh, no.
This could be dangerous, though, because we do not see Kate, so they're going to get the slug there, and this is dangerous. We know the Unbreakable has been used already. And yeah, you're going to go camp that survivor. Oh, we see blood over here, though, and scratch marks. Oh, boy. It might have been too many resources, and yep, there is Kate. Too little, too late, not able to get the pickup on Steve there, and I think this might be lights out potentially here. We've seen the Deliverance, we haven't seen the Side Strike, we've seen the Unbreakable. I don't know what they can use to come back here. There's no Soul Guard.
So yeah, that was man, I thought that heal would happen faster, but that's the power of Victor and Twins, you know.
I think what might have happened is I think Kate went around the long way so they didn't get caught by Victor, and they might have not quite been able to finish that heal just in time. They were just a little bit out of position. Oh, man.
So a game of inches, man. A game of inches.
I honestly really tight play from the survivors all the way through, just at the very last moment, not able to quite complete it. Really good back and forth. Probably some of the strongest twin play we've also seen coming into this this season.
Yeah, and I mean, there were some cool plays out there that if they would have been able to finish that one gen, holy smokes, we were talking about the fact that that Soul Guard, Unbreakable, the Deliverance plays, all that stuff. But hey, give it up to the Twins player for being able to keep the composure and get the 4K out of this.
I would have to agree. Again, we've talked about before, these games that go really long and grindy, especially with a mental player like Twins, very difficult. But like you said, keeping their composure, not losing it, making sure to constantly check between the two. Survivors had some good resets of potential, but at the end of the day, the Twins ended up slugging it out, like we said, and they are going to take home the 4K here. Really well played to both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, I mean, we keep talking about it. It's just the power of having Twins is being able to slug. And like you were saying, though, they brought some perks that Survivors did to kind of go against Twins, and it did a kind of a great job. So.
Yeah, I would imagine we would see Scuba with leader because they had Soul Guard Unbreakable. Yeah, man, they just really well played all the way around, and I would imagine we'll see. I'm curious how they did play it because I didn't get a chance to speak at the perks beforehand, but I would imagine. Oh, a little stutter there. I would imagine they had they have the tech, so. Maybe these Twins players had played, a couple practice rounds against the same tech, so we'll just have to see, and how CA responds with themselves. So we do have, decisive. Oh man, that is a brutal build there. We're gonna live forever. No botany knowledge on the We're gonna live forever. Okay, so the botany knowledge actually over here on the will. Okay, so actually, yeah, D was their heal bot, it seems. So taking that survivor out quick might have been a. I don't know if it was a good call per se, but it was definitely very advantageous for the killer in the end. So,
honestly, seeing D's perks right now, taking D out really helped our killer out because, like you were saying, their healer's gone, and now you kind of have to go, okay, how are we gonna do this real quick?
Exactly. And with that said, we will have to see how again CA responds, as CA also will be playing Twins on the same map. I like seeing mirror matches to a degree, just because you get to see who plays the killer better, like who plays the survivor side. So I'm really interested to see also who will be playing. I have an idea about who's gonna be playing, but I'm not gonna say anything just yet. I want to confirm first. But it's definitely not. I'm kidding. Anyway, so that build. We've seen a significant diversity among builds. Although always on Twins we see again Thanatophobia and Corrupt. How do you feel about the Ruin and what was I'm going the fourth one. Deadlock? Do you think they go well together?
I think they go well together. It's interesting though, because in that game, Ruin actually carried for a little bit. I was surprised. I don't know if you were, by how long it took our Survivor team to actually cleanse Ruin. And
that's a very good point. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, they didn't find it later on. Again, we saw the Fang. We thought that the Fang saw it, so I guess they hadn't. So that's actually a very good point. I never even thought about that.
And that's the thing, like we were mentioning, like there was only one gen done. Even though our Twins player slugged, Scuba Steve, and got back up, they did all their stuff. It took them a while to get a second gen done, and so finally, after they got Ruin cleansed, they were able to get the other two quickly. But I still think it was it honestly helped out our Twins player a lot, being able to be okay with Ruin. I
Hmm.
guarantee you they were probably surprised that it stayed longer than 30 seconds.
That
I have always them.
Yeah, that's entirely fair. Actually, I'm not saying he was MVP of that game, but yeah, Ruin staying up that long probably was definitely a factor because it definitely regressed some gens. Even with Deadlock, blocking the most one. There was one gen in the corner that was actually I think it was maybe next to the one that was they were working on towards the end there. That I think Ruin actually hit a lot before it ended up getting cleansed because Deadlock was on the one next to the first initial camp hook that they got on Nia. So yeah, Ruin definitely
Like,
got a lot of value.
yeah. And that's the thing is I love Ruin on Twins because
Hmm.
you get Victor out, someone's in a gen, they're gonna pop back. So there goes your Ruin, and you can keep doing that stuff and getting people off gens and having them explode, and you're just happy. And you
Hmm.
add Thanosphobia to that, man, what a nightmare.
I would have to agree. And with that said, so at the end of the day, for game number one and set one, Saloedi is going to come out with a league of 24-8, which we've definitely, honestly, we've seen even moments where the other side has a mirror and they end up tying the first set. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, a lot of pressure going into this game on the killer as they in order to tie it, they need to 4K at 4 gens, which is not impossible. We have seen it done plenty of times, but I'm not going to say Twins have performed poorly in the past, but they've definitely struggled with a lot of the metagaming around. When you're playing against Twins, you can, like, we've seen these meta builds, like what Survivors just brought there, that just really are tooled to try and take out and just dismantle Twins' strongest assets against slugging and everything like that. So I would definitely be worried in the killer spot, but it's definitely not out of potential. We just saw a fantastic Twins game there, so maybe they've got the strats. Maybe they've been practicing enough. I don't know. What do you think?
I think one thing that you got to do now is your team's down. You got to hold your composure. You got to go, okay, that was their Twins. Now I'm going to match now I'm going to have to match theirs, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, kind of block out all the noise and just go with it and realize that this is another game. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
do well and keep that up. Because the thing and you've seen this too, Rue, the thing that happens sometimes is you get a little sweaty after watching your team not being able to take out even a 2 out or a 1 out, and now a little
Mm-hmm.
pressure is building up on you, and that can get to you. So you got to block out the noise.
Yeah.
You got to play your game and make it happen. That's number one right now.
For sure, keeping it clean, especially with a killer like Twins, where it just ends up grinding out most of the time. It's crazy that the killers that seem to benefit the most from thanatophobia, like Plague, Legion, Twins, also end up being the most grinding. I wonder if there's a. Do you think there's like a coincidence there? Is it just me? What do you?
I now you're making my gears turn because I'm like, wait, he might be onto something now because those are long games, dude.
They are, but it's because one, the regression slow, the not regression, the slowdown obviously is a factor, but also just those killers are constantly hitting survivors, which forces resets because resetting against the killer is the best thing you can do most of the time. Yeah, and honestly, I kind of appreciate the grinding matchups. Obviously, not so much Legion because I'm gonna say it, dog tier. Sorry, I love Legion. He was like my second main, fantastic fun killer. Dog tier. Sorry.
Absolutely,
I'm
I
happy
agree
we
with
got
you on
Ghostface the
that.
other day, but no, sorry, no Legion.
The other thing I want to see these survivors. I want to see how they do with resetting. We didn't
Hmm.
see a lot of resetting with their last survivor team.
Well, they tried. That's
They
the thing.
tried,
Victor caught
but
them with their pants down most of the time.
yeah, absolutely. So that might be what happened, or a kind of a tale of the game upcoming is like, can our team reset?
Hmm.
Because if they can't, they might suffer the same fate as Cerebral Assassin did in the first game.
That might have been the nail in the coffin because it was kind of along the same vein. They weren't able to reset. The reason that they had to reset in the first place was because they all took hits trying to keep Nia alive. But Nia was being chased by an M1 killer, maybe, and they didn't use a lot of pallet resources, if we're being honest. Maybe trying to force Charlotte to just do the M1 chase and see if Nia can duke it out because they took a lot of hits, and I think at the end of the day they took too many hits. It might have been the issue. That might have been the point of not no return because they definitely had some good moments, like in the deliverance play, the pickup, the unbreakable, all that stuff. They had a lot of good comeback moments, but maybe getting put in that position in the first place just too early in the game. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they got a hit on a survivor what like 5 seconds into the game,
Mm-hmm.
and I think
Within
that
15 seconds or so, yeah.
15 something like that. I think that kind of also set a little bit of the pace of okay, this is how it's gonna be like. And to be honest with you, I think one of the things that our killer did well is not bait for loops, right?
Mm-hmm.
They saw people to the left and right and said, "No, I'm okay. I know exactly what I gotta be. They're right in front of me. I'm not gonna go for you all the way in the corner, you know."
Yeah,
So that was really good. Really, just outstanding play by both sides. Like we said, the game of inches, and we'll see what happens next game.
for sure. Time management was definitely a factor because yeah, they were always picking the right times to go after Victor and trying I guess cat and mouse survivors would be a good term for it, even though it feels like more than cat and mouse because you have two cats going on and a bit overwhelming. But we saw also one thing I also noticed as time went on, Victor, not necessarily I would say came into his own, but they seem to be more comfortable with the Victor pounces. They missed a lot of early pounces with Victor, and as the game progressed, they seem to be a bit more adept at hitting those at some point. Because I mean, we saw they were getting missing hits around the tires, and then in the beginning with the Neo and the Gen, they were sliding off constantly. So they also might have just picked up their game, got warmed up to say, maybe I don't know, maybe they did have a warm-up game before this and they just warmed up into the game. Maybe that's the mentality. I'll go in completely fresh and just warm up during the first 2 minutes of the game. I don't know.
I think also, like you were saying, that I not only did they get warmed up, I think they started catching on to their playstyle. Like their survivor playstyles. I mean, and they might have caught on to the fact that Scuba Steve wanted to get the chases, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe they said, okay, this is what's going on now. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's knowing your customer, and they kind of read some things towards the end and said, okay, this is how you guys are gonna play it. Cool, I can do this too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very good point. And it wasn't until the very end that they ended up going for Steve. And yeah, there was definitely a reason Steve wanted to take the chase because of the deliverance and everything else. And it was some good plays. I'm not disappointed. I was obviously you heard me screaming. There was definitely some high points that I was like taken aback, but again, Twins kept their level head and pulled out in the end. So we'll see how Cerebral Assassins play again. So I
Yeah,
I can
absolutely.
confirm it is in fact Running Man on the Twins. So I I have seen them play a lot of Twins. So they are no stranger to the skill. We'll just have to see how much practice the survivors have against the killer. I guess what builds they bring.
Yeah. The cool thing is that I love that these survivors can know what killer they're going up against like
Oh yeah.
beforehand, right? For the week.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's awesome that you're able to practice, you're able to mess around with your own kit, with other people's perks, and just like basically become for a week like a master of knowing like your prey.
Mm-hmm. No, I
Same thing
completely
with
agree.
killers. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the maps in advance and everything else. It's really cool because yeah, you know who you're going against in advance, and while the perks and everything are restrictive, because you know who you're playing against in advance, you get to see these meta builds come out that you wouldn't normally see because you wouldn't normally take Leader or Soul Guard into a build. You wouldn't normally take We're Gonna Live Forever botany knowledge, but if you're playing Twins, you are.
yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
And I would also argue probably if you are, playing against Plague, you might not bring as many like healing perks like Will Gonna Make It probably, I would imagine. Like Will Gonna Make It probably or not or yeah, We'll Make It. You probably wouldn't take that one just because you're probably not gonna heal off of hook. It's probably gonna be like someone's broken, so you're not gonna get that. Maybe We're Gonna Live Forever because you want to pick up speed if they go for a 4-man slug, but yeah, it really just it affects your perks picks. It's really interesting to see what people come up with.
Yeah, dude, I'm loving it. I'm loving the fact that we're getting to see all these different perks that
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't see in other things. So really, really cool.
I would agree. And with that said, we are loading into the match finally, and we'll see how they play here. I'm expecting a pretty good show. Again, that was probably one of the first Twins games I've seen in a while this league that or a season that was like a genuine back and forth that wasn't like the survivors just really toying with it. Felt like that most of the games we've seen they've been toying with the killer a lot, and the killer's not quite able to get an advantage. So maybe we'll see something different on the horizon here, but here we are loading in, and let's see, where is our killer? There they are. Let's get over and see what's up. Running Man with his corrupt zone. I would say that's a pretty okay corrupt zone. A little bit split, but not too badly, and they're going to go off and try and find their first set of survivors here, as they do spawn together, so that is an advantage for the Twins.
Yeah, absolutely. kind of doing the same thing as our last killer did, where at the beginning they automatically set Victor loose.
Mm-hmm. And not quite able to find someone yet, so bit lucky for the survivors as not quite like last time, because actually they might be hiding out Corrupt. I don't know, because I don't know what always goes through the killer's heads, but there might have been someone around here that they saw and they just literally gave the killer the jukes, but definitely struggling to find someone. I do like scouting with Victor though, just because again, you move a little bit faster, you can definitely catch up a bit better, and then, you know, go pursue with Charlotte later, but not finding... Are these survivors waiting out Corrupt?
Absolutely, they are. That's a one. I mean, this is a great play. This is a great play. I mean, even like they're probably hiding in the Corrupted, you know, just right now.
That's a fair point. I'm kind of shocked. We haven't seen... I don't think we've seen a team this season successfully wait out a full Corrupt here, but I think we're almost a minute into this match, and these survivors are nowhere to be seen. Yeah,
this is one of the... I'm honestly shocked that this is taking so long to find somebody.
I'm agree. I'm kind of speechless, if I'm being honest. They are literally going to wait up the full Corrupt. Where are they? I kind of want to go take a peek myself at this point. Are they? I swear if they're in basement right now, I'm going to die. Yeah, we are almost at the end of Corrupt there, and we have not seen anything. A little bit of bait and switch. I guess seeing if they were in front of Charlotte, possibly, you know, seeing that she's down, and that's actually really smart. Using Victor for scouting at this point. Oh my word! I can't believe that they waited up the full Corrupt here. That is actually insane. That is a rough start.
Bananas, dude. The crazy thing about it though is you have your 3-gen right here. Are you seeing this? This is awesome for Running Man.
True, that is a good point. Running Man has no reason to leave here, and the survivors have come back to play after, you know, their little recess, and Felix is going to kidnap Victor and go on a little bit of a run here. Are they going to pursue? They are.
Did they have time to make some bagel bites or anything like that for that whole minute and a half or whatever?
They better have. They better have used that 2 minutes to good use. If there are totems in this match that have not been tickled, I will be shocked. I'd imagine. I guess no. Yeah, I guess you wait out fully. I don't. Oh my goodness! But they are going to find the ace nonetheless, and they're going to get to a safe pallet and not take any chance they're going to pre-drop it and everything. Victor's about to return here to Charlotte, and Ace is going to be long gone by that point. I expect we might see them deploy Victor here, though. This gen is being. This gen's being actively worked on by somebody.
Yeah, Running Man still deciding to go after Ace right here, seeing if maybe he can get somebody else hurt.
Yeah, waiting out, not wanting to make sure that he missed it. There you go, and doesn't get the hit, not missing it at all. And another server running away. I will notice that Felix has not reset. I'm wondering if they might have resilience. I would have expected a reset from them by now.
Yeah.
Not really sure.
Yeah, I would expect a reset too.
And survivors are actually over here next to 3-gen. All right, there we do see the Felix reset and taking chase with the Jake here now at the LT wall. Does get the mind game, and I think it's going to result in a hit here. Yeah, there you go. You do see the hit, and
beautiful hit. Yeah.
I think Jake is going to get some distance here. No Lithe or potential sprint burst from this, and there you go. We see Charlotte deploying Victor, and Victor is going to pursue.
Yeah, this is great. Not only just getting the hit, but also seeing where where our hurt person is.
Oh man, that duck was absolutely perfectly timed. No, he is now caught out there. Didn't get the kick, and they are going to go down. Ace has reset, so no real snowball potential here yet. And yeah, it looks like Vince here is going to leave them and go pick them up and get the hook. Notice that Victor is right next to that hook. So they do get a pretty good spot to camp with Victor if they leave them there, but they do finish a gen final. So it's going to be a little bit tit for tat here. But they waited out Corrupt so well. I was really shocked. And oh wait, that's not Corrupt. That is Deadlock.
Oh yeah, a little bit of Deadlock over here. Okay.
I respect it. It's a really good perk. We see, it's crazy. We see. If you asked me when Deadlock came out, that it was going to be competitive playable, I would have laughed. And it is everywhere.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I did not expect Deadlock to be used as much as it is used now. I'm seeing, like you said, I'm seeing it everywhere, dude.
Mm-hmm. And they do get back to Victor, and you notice that. Oh wow, they immediately unhooked as soon as Victor went away.
Smokes.
That is really well timed for them. And Charlotte did go back to her 3-gen, and they're going to go for the tunnel here on the Jake. And you know, I respect it.
Yep.
Honestly, I think tunneling out is probably the play here. I imagine there's another survivor in the area, but nowhere to be seen. As yeah, there's only one Killer Instinct over there, and they're going to go for the pickup here.
You know,
There is enough time. They could get a tunnel, and they could kind of do the same scenarios they had before.
Right, and it's kind of a bad luck. Maybe this person has DS or something, but to get found like right at the beginning,
no DS
after the unhook, oof, you know.
I would tend to agree. And whoever did the unhook, I imagine is the Deliverance player. However, even if you got a safe unhook there, it's a similar situation to the Nia. There is, they're gonna be that cheeky deadlock play, preventing them from kicking, possibly preventing a pop goes the Weasel. And now Charlotte is going to be forced to chase down this Meg instead. That's the reason I'm surprised the Deadlock sees so much play, because good Survivor teams use Deadlock against the Killer. And that's exactly what we saw there. That 99 gen somewhere is like, all right, pop the gen. We don't want it to pop the, we don't want it to pop this one. So, wow, really well played there, preventing them from getting the kick.
Yeah, super well played.
They do get the kick, but there's no pop here. And that's going to start slowly regressing. But I think there is still... No, that 3-gen is broken up now, as they did fix that. This other gen also being touched by the Felix. However, they are still on hook, and they have not gone for the pickup yet. But I think, if I'm correct, I think that timer has been paused for a bit now on the Jake.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
So I think that is kinship. Oh, my goodness. Great timing from the Twins to get the hit there. Wow, seeing as soon as the Killer Instinct popped up, like, oh, go back, and they prevented the kick and everything, and so now Ace is gonna get into down the Felix. We could see a potential snowball here. They do get a 3rd gen done, but there is a significant amount of pressure here going for this Killer, as they do get the first hook on the Felix. Ace relinquishing Victor, surprisingly, as they do spot the Ace too as well, so deploying Victor, and this could be a potential snowball for this Killer.
Absolutely. This is where, if you're Twins, you just literally just take your time. Wow, yep. Here we go.
And Charlotte's right there to do the pickup, so I'm guessing there's a possible deliverance from the Felix here. I don't know why he would make this play. You know where Charlotte was. It's not going to waste too much time there. And this is going to be a fresh hook on this Ace as well. However, Jake is reset, but the Twins player has 2 hooks right next to each other with a gen that's regressing. This is a strong spot.
Right. Why
deliverance on the Ace though?
Oh my goodness, there's deliverance. Wow.
Oh man.
I was gonna say you might just want to camp those two spots.
I would agree, but I think this is Jake, and so if you do get the tunnel out on the Jake here, Survivors are having to be forced to reset. They are deploying Victor, and they are in a corner here. Ooh, good mind game there on the Jake. Yeah. Not throwing that pallet, but they are gonna take the hit here. And Charlotte is nearby, but however, I do believe Fang is also nearby. Did I see Fang over here? No, that's Meg. Did I see someone over here? No, I didn't. Okay, I'm seeing things. I'm delusional.
So this is Jake's. Jake
is now dead.
This is end, right? This is dead.
Yeah, this is death for Jake here, as I imagine these Survivors have to be on a gen at this point. Worth noting, because the audience can see this, there is no thanatophobia. So this Killer didn't take thanatophobia this time, which is kind of shocking for me. We'll see if the Survivors can make time on it, because they really can't work on 2 gens at the same time properly because of Deadlock being a play. We should see. Yeah, there's 1 gen, but the other gen that they're working on is going to be deadlocked. Unless that other gen across where Ace was has less progress and they timed it properly, I don't think they can get a quick gen out here. So, yeah, deploying Victor. There are two injured Survivors. This could be another chance to snowball here. Deliverance has been used. Yeah, there's no progress on this gen.
Goodness, here we go.
This could end up being a tie set. Ooh, Ace with a bit of sprint burst there to give him some distance. Clutch, honestly. And jumping in a locker. Smart play. I respect it. But these gens don't have a lot of progress on, though. Deadlock is no longer applied to that gen. I don't know if you get here before the Ace gets out. You do. But that means 2 Survivors are over on that other gen there. They probably will be able to finish this. I believe it's Ace's 2nd hook here. There has to be some kind of end game package here. We haven't seen but 2 perks this whole time, and we'll see.
So it has to be an end game, but here's the thing:
reset.
When you have an end game build, this is a great game by our Twins so far.
I would agree, and nobody is on that gen. Where are these Survivors? We didn't see anybody on that gen. Otherwise, that gen's nobody's there. There's no Killer Instinct, so they abandoned it. I'm kind of curious what these Survivors are up to. Also worth noting, at this point, the game is a tie. If they get another gen done, Saloedi can take the set victory here. But with the way things are, I think regardless, you still will see a 3K So it's still gonna be a close match regardless of the outcome so far.
Yeah,
Where are these
absolutely. Now
survivors?
where are they at? But man, this is a great game so far.
I would tend to agree. And again, Victor just sitting over there. We see both those jets. Okay, so Victor does, they get snuck up on and kicked? Or did it return? I can't tell.
I feel like I heard him cry.
I thought I did too, but I thought if you leave him there for too long, he cries. I don't know, but regardless, Ace is going to regress to, progress to Death Hook, and Felix is going to take the
survivors.
Yeah, I guess the Twins is confident that nobody is on that gen in the corner. Nope, they were on that gen, and so okay, we do see the haste aspect. So Noed is in play here. I think you might be right. We might be seeing an end game build potentially, but that said, even if there's a 4K here, they have won the set for their team because of that last gen. So
absolutely,
set is determined. Now it's just up to see if the Twins can, make it a close match going into the second set. And I think there's the Noah totem. I think Meg knows what's up. Good blind there.
That was beautiful.
Truly, and I think Meg is a bit caught out here, and notice that there was a notification. No Way Out has activated. Noed on the Meg. I imagine, unless something very specific and cheeky happens, these actually, oh my goodness, look at these exit. Actually, no, it doesn't matter. It's Twins. The exit gates literally do not matter in this scenario. You get a hook next to this. I think we're looking at a 4K.
Yeah, I think so too. And this is where Victor. Yep, I was about to say this is where you let Victor go loose and go find a Felix and get your 4K.
Yep, or at least go park by this exit gate and just wait it out. Again, your No Way Out is still up here. I'm surprised they're not actually parking Victor next to it, but again, I would imagine this, unless something crazy happens, I'm expecting a 4K. There's just the Twins are one of the few killers that can just police both the exit gates near perfectly. Checking some lockers here. I'm surprised they haven't pop up with Charlotte to see if anybody's over here on this side. No Way Out is over though, so they do need to go check that other exit gate, and that is what we see here. However, Felix is nowhere to be seen. I'm kind of surprised they're not parking Victor over by that exit gate. Maybe it's too
the exit
predictable?
gate plays maybe I don't know. That's a good play if you like you were saying, no parking by the exit gate, see if there's anybody around.
Actually,
get him out.
I just realized something. We saw that Felix didn't reset immediately earlier. I'm wondering, does Felix have the resilience?
Oh snap, you might be right.
I mean, there's no, Wake Up is obviously banned now since its buff is actually insane, but resilience could be a way out here. And to be fair, Charlotte also has to be mindful of the fact that, Shaq will spawn the hatch. So they are doing a good job of making sure. Oh, wait, we just heard a locker play.
Yep.
But are they in this locker? They are. And wait,
Wow.
does Charlotte have enough time to get over here? And, okay, I would imagine they close the hatch and not take the chance on Felix getting out of this locker. I think is what we're going to see here. Yeah, there you go. They do play it properly. And
good job.
this will be a 4K for our Twins. Just one gen extra, so they are going to pull out the set, but a fantastic job nonetheless. This is, I think this is the first time, or the second time that we see Twins 4K a match. We haven't seen many 4Ks from Twins. Usually survivors are really strong, but I guess that is goes to show maybe the A tier bracket knows what's going on. Maybe they got the tech and the counterplay, and just phenomenal Twins games we've seen so far. I've been really impressed. I didn't know what to expect just because the previous Twins games we had seen, they didn't actually seem to put out like they used. Okay, because again, remember when Twins came out, they were absolute slaughters, right? Like, 4 gens
oh
left.
my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, just nuts. But recently we haven't seen that, but honestly, Killer's putting out today, and 2 4Ks from these, and that's going to be a very close game going into set number 2. But with that said, Saloedi will take home the W for set number 1 and get that match point with 34-32. This is a really close game going into the second set here. We saw this earlier, and it ended up being a tie.
Holy smokes, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the game before, but we had a very similar instance where both sides, it was a 4-point lead in the first one, but then the other team came back with a 2-point lead, and so we ended up getting 2 tied sets, or it wasn't 2 tied sets, but the matches ended up tied afterwards, so we had to go to the third trial. So I think we could see something here. That's a very close game nonetheless, but we will be moving on to set number 2. And I'm curious, it is Suffocation Pit.
Oh man, who are they? Who do we know? Which killers they're bringing?
We do. We will be seeing Cerebral Assassins bring the Nemesis. And that's about as good of a chase as you're going to get in the Suffo Pit in that center. Oh man, I imagine we might see a repeat. Again, I've seen this this specific player play Nemesis plenty of times. I imagine we're gonna see the same player playing the killer here. Suffocation Pit has been a rough map most games, and Nemesis specifically like doesn't have a ton of map pressure. Like the zombies do a little bit, but like it was be real like zombie hits and comp are like unicorns.
Yeah, if it happens, oh my goodness, you are thinking the RNG people, man, because
Yeah,
it never happens, dude.
for sure. Yeah, okay, take it back. I think we've seen one zombie hit in the entirety of comp, and it was a really weird situation, and I think it was just a very, again, just unicorn circumstance, but otherwise, yeah, you never see it. But assuming Nemesis can get into his tier 2 relatively quickly, as far as chase killers go, like he's not pyramid head levels, but honestly for the purpose of Suffo Pit with that middle, I think he works almost just as well, if not maybe probably not better, but just really, really strong as in general. So
No, absolutely. I think, like you were saying, though, the Nemesis has got to get to tier 2. You know, if they can get to tier 2 quickly, then it's almost game over. But we're gonna see what our survivors bring to the table as far as do they even go middle? Do they just stay around and not worry about any zombies and chases and things like that? So
well, yeah, like in general, I would not worry about zombies, especially like it's so easy to counter them in combat. It's like, hey, X zombie is over here, or, near in this area, near my gen, or whatever. I think the only time the zombies actually get annoying is when they're camping a jet, which if you have 2 people on it, you just have the bait and switch background. There is some counterplay to it. It's nuanced, but I guess that's the most value you're ever going to get out of zombie in comp, probably.
yeah, a gen, yeah, a little bit of gen pressure there, but like you said, they're kind of meh when it comes to comp. So
I would agree. And worth noting, it is not a mirror match this time. Saloedi is going to be replying in kind with an Oni. And while I think Oni is probably a stronger killer than Nemesis, on this map, I don't really know. That center area, as soon as they have their power, you take chase, you just go. Like, unless there's a dead zone gen that the Oni can really work with, like, once you get in the center area, how on earth are you going to use your power? You're not a blight. You don't flick.
yeah, no, I agree with you on that. Man, two interesting killers for the pit. We'll see what happens.
We will. And also worth noting, we're seeing Nemesis being played despite the nerf to their add-ons recently, and honestly still seem to be doing a fair amount of work despite that. Was it Mikhail's Blood got the most surprising nerf? I'm kind of shocked we still see it.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff going on to Mr. Nemesis over there.
Well, we will have to see. But okay, so now I'm curious. Knowing that you're going against the Nemesis, I don't think we've talked about much before, at least with me and Gilt and some other people. Are there any perk-specific counterplays you would see the survivors trying to utilize against a Nemesis potentially? Like, maybe if you have a dedicated chaser, maybe you want Spine Chill Resilience on them to maybe get that just a little bit faster vault so they don't stick around for the whip too long. I'm not really sure if there's any like perk counterplay that you can expect coming into this trial.
Yeah, there's not a lot, but I mean, that's the thing. Like with Nemi, you gotta have your runner be the person that meets Nemi first. Like you gotta have that guy that can run Nemesis, and I mean, and hope he stays on you, right? Hope that Nemesis stays on it, and while you guys do your gens and do your business. And I mean, we saw the first game where they got the runner first, and with Steve, and kind of didn't go as well. So you have to build off of that and go, okay, who's gonna be our juicer? Who's gonna be the dude? And take chase and see what you can do and buy us some more time.
I would have to agree. I guess again we've seen it before. the survivor that is least advantageous for you to get a hold of is oftentimes the first survivor you end up meeting. It's like they're served up on a platter sometimes. You know, the lucky break player. Honestly, lucky break might actually be a really sweet punch here potentially, just because you're gonna get that first whip on them. If you, assuming the chase goes well, the killer's gonna be forced to use his tentacle on you the first time, and then because the way Michaela's blood work now, you don't. If you hit them again, it doesn't give you its power, and then if you have lucky break and get away, that killer's actually in a pretty rough spot because they're not at tier 2 like they want to be for pallet crushing. And they just lost a survivor. And again, in the Suffo pit with Lucky Break, that could be game breaking potentially, especially if you wait. Again, I'm expecting Corrupt. You can wait out Corrupt on Suffo pit relatively well, I'd say. So
If they, I mean, shoot, man, if they wait out Corrupt like they did in the last game, then I'd be scared of being Corrupt if I was their killer.
yeah,
that was wild, man. I still can't believe I'm taken back.
Yeah, props to
by how great that was. That was a great play.
Yeah, props to the survivor team for pulling it off. Also, props to the killer for not going insane for that. And not letting it get to him, like you said. Yeah, yes. Keeping their composure, because I would have at the 1.5 minute mark, I'd be like, "You're kidding me! I don't what?" Like I would have been losing it a little bit potentially.
Oh yeah, me too. When you don't get it down or anything like a minute and a half in, 2 minutes in, even a minute into your corrupted zone, you just start feeling pressure.
Yeah, exactly, and we will see how they handle it. Nemesis here, so we are loading in shortly. I expect to see a pretty standard build for Nemesis. I'm really curious what the survivors are going to do. As in, I'm seeing more spice of life variety coming from the survivors these days, because killers tend to go to the same thing, whereas survivors are like, all right, we know what killer we're going against, we're going to try this out, and we'll see how they handle it, because we are loading in just now, and it looks like our Nemesis has spawned at the Suffo pit itself, and he's going to go ahead and break this door before proceeding on with the game. And yep, there is corrupt intervention. That is a sick corrupt intervention, honestly.
Yeah, it is. Holy smokes, I just looked at it too. You can't ask for anything better, to be honest with you.
I mean, I guess you could have also asked for the other fortunes to be completely on the side, but there is one kind of in the left of center, so not the best spread, but honestly, not the worst. Like, especially when RNG comes to this game, like especially on Suffo pit, not the worst by any means. That said, that gen in the corner is actually kind of next to the zombie back there. That looks like a bit of a dead zone gen potentially.
Absolutely. Now, one thing that I do love about zombies is they're able to tell you where survivors are at. This is really good, especially if they're trying to hide on the corrupted zone,
I would agree, and I think Nemesis is also, all right, if you're going to wait out corrupt, I'm at least going to make sure you don't get to this side, as you can police the choke point a little bit and not let them get back here, but I think they are still struggling to figure out where these survivors ended up spawning. I would imagine they spawned on the corrupt side, but I guess they're content to wait out corrupt again. I am wondering if this is a new strat coming from Saloedi of just really forcing the wait out time on corrupt. It's kind of weird. Oh,
there we go.
They do see it. I wonder if they're gonna go after it though, as the zombie did find someone, but also, so we see the Mikhail's blood. I'm seeing is that a tablet? Like what? I forget what that's called. The purple add-on here. Is that zombie speed?
I believe you're right. Ooh.
They hit that.
Oh, what a hit. Wow.
On the edge of the tip of that tentacle, and they do get Jake with that first infection. We'll have to see if they can follow it up here, as Jake is pre-dropping all the pellets, which is kind of expected. Actually, the zombie is a little bit annoying because it doesn't let you get direct line back there. And actually, this zombie is a rare moment here, and he's going to push the survivor away from this tile entirely. Jake has to be careful. He could take a hit, and he barely dodges, but this will let Nemesis get a hit here, I think.
Wow, yeah, that was a beautiful hit right there by Nami again.
I don't think I've ever seen the zombie get that much value before, besides just straight up getting a hit. So good passive pressure, letting the killer know where they are and getting him into a chase. But looks like they are going to break off, as again, notice Mikhail's blood nerf there. They are not in tier 2 yet like they would normally be pre-nerf, and that is a very quick first gen after getting out of this corrupt here without having any presence on it. Imagine 2 people on it, and looks like that zombie is currently stunned from a flashlight, and we do see deadlock as well at the Suffo pit.
Absolutely. Great first chase. Survivor and Killer being able to do one gen, and now our Killer's got to go back over here and
Ooh,
make
sprint
sure
burst
that,
there.
everybody's stays away, basically.
Right, and yeah, there's no 3-gen on this side of the map now, so the Killer's gonna have to go over another flashlight stun on this zombie. So zombie's cat and mousing the gens a little bit, and there we see Felix there. Yeah, that flashlight. And they're gonna go back to the same area. Yeah, as soon as this pallet goes away, it is a dead zone. Does he get the hit? He does. He is now in tier 2. Nemesis, again, you want to get to tier 3, but as long as you're in tier 2, at least the pallets aren't that much of an issue anymore. And oh my goodness, this is a dead zone. This is the 3-gen you want to keep.
Yes, dude. Yes. Now Felix kind of trying to take him away from the situation right now, and I don't know. I think he might get his first down here.
Quite possibly, though, that Felix does have a lot of distance and doing a good job. I mean, I think there might be having an iron will there, but they will go down at the end of the day. However, it's up to the survivors. Are they on that gen in the corner trying to stop this 3-gen? Or, I guess it's just, yeah, where are they? I needed it, because if they pop that 3-gen, it's going to be a struggle for numbers. However, they are smartly hooking in a like a dead zone. No, they pop that one, and that is deadlocked now. So they do maintain their 3-gen, and you see, is that wow. Jake? Jake is injured over here.
Here we go.
That is risky. I don't know if I would have done that, because yeah, look at this. Look at the survivor is over here in the dead zone, but Ace is coming over. I wonder if they have their sprint burst 99 here. They don't, and it looks like they're going to wait out the borrow time potentially. Yeah, they're going to hug the survivor and wait for them at the last possible second. Yeah, can't quite wait at the borrow time. Zombie almost able to get a hit there, but ultimately not able to do anything, as they are going to be able to make this safe unhook. And I imagine Ace probably has the deliverance here, right?
Let's do. I mean, yeah, I think they do. That was a very quick unhook as well.
That gen is 99 now. Oh, that is so rough. Popping the gen again, just the counterplay to deadlock is so rough. Not able to get that gen regressing, denying pop value. Oh man, also knowing that the gen is 99 in your 3-gen, this is going to be a rough spot. Not able to get that ace at the TNL either.
Yeah, this is one of those games right now where if you're Nemesis, you got to know when your deadlock ends, because you got to go back.
Yep. And I think we're going to see this. That is a lot of gen pressure for waiting out Corrupt. The fact that they waited out Corrupt for 2 whole minutes without doing a gen, and then all of a sudden, as soon as Corrupt is up, gens are just flying off the shelves. Just really strong pressure from these survivors here, as they are resetting the 2 injured ones right now.
Absolutely. Now, lucky that Nemesis was able to get into this gen, because I totally thought that someone would have already popped it by now.
Unfortunately, it has a dry kick, so it's not going to get that much aggression. If a survivor is hanging around and sneaky, they could just go over there, tap it, and stop the aggression completely, or just finish it entirely. As this gen is probably it's not quite a 3-gen, 4-gen situation, but it is a latent one. It is a loose one at best. So it is worth pressuring for this Nemesis, especially with that gen being 99. However, I imagine they went over and touched this one. I will have to see. I don't see anybody. Zombie Gambit from the Nemesis here, as both of them have cleansed. That is never a good sign as a killer. If you see both your survivors cleanse at the same time, that means that they are ready to enact the end game. And they've only gotten 1 hook so far. Survivors have been absolutely oppressive on the Suffa pit.
Absolutely, like you were saying, right out of Corrupt zone, they were able to just do the gen so quickly, and now we see our Nemesis has to have a little pressure on them right now.
Right, and they still have, honestly, they use 2 pallets in the corner, but there's so many resources for these survivors left in the game, and I think we're gonna have to see like Nemesis trying to get his power, trying to get the hits, and survivors, honestly, they just work this middle area really, really well. And it looks like we're going to see them come over here and try and finish this gen. It has actually progressed quite a bit with the kick, so that kick did end up paying off a bit at just popping that gen in its face. And I'm honest, I don't know what the Nemesis can do here to try and pull this game back. This has been such a just absolute brutal showing from the survivor team.
Absolutely, even in the end game, if he gets Felix down, I mean, you just basically open the doors and leave, you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's a very strong showing either way. And yeah, Felix, I think, Felix might just be taking bait, trying to go over here. They will take the hit, give him tier 3. However, deadlock is up. I imagine all survivors are on that gen right now, powering it out. And I believe this is second hook for Felix, right? Or did Jake get hooked first?
I think it's second hook.
All right, and well, we have Noah, so that is one perk showing up for this killer. We'll have to see what else there is, and it looks like a no way out, and that is second hook for the Felix. I imagine, was that a survivor that he just passed?
Oh, dude, it might have been. Oh.
Are they on? Do they have this?
They're-
They cleansed it. They
Oh my
already knew where it
goodness.
was. Oh, I guess that is so
Oh my
unlucky.
goodness. That's one of those, like, they maybe have cleansed all the totems and then just put that as a designated Noah, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That might have been what it was, and Dead Hard from the Meg going into the corner of the map, as I am sure they are happy to waste as much time here against the Nemesis. And I still think they have a lot of resources at their disposal here. You could even attempt to be greedy at 4-out. However, you could go for the 4-out and try and, really, not only make a statement, but, try and, really come ahead on the points and try and solidify the match point. But I imagine with the way they play this game, might just let him progress to, to death here and just take your 3-out and give him 5 stages. You've got 2 fresh survivors that have not been hooked this whole game, so obviously
and that's the thing. Yeah.
Oh man, it is 99 and everything. Yeah, I think we're gonna see a 3-out here potentially. No, they want the 4-out. It looks like as Ace is gonna get a little bit of distance, taking the hit from the zombie to even more speed boost. And we do know that Ace already has borrowed time as the unhook earlier. They are gonna take the hit, but I think Ace has deliverance too, so while Meg may be able to get away here with borrowed time and everything else, they are gonna take hits. I don't know if this backfires, they're gonna give the killer a fresh hook here, but Ace either has to have unbreakable deliverance. Ace has to have all the second chance perks not to get wrecked here. No flashlight
Holy
save.
smokes,
That was
Felix,
a
a
good attempt.
flashlight. Yeah, that was a good attempt. But now, I mean, if you're a killer, you kind of have to just camp this out again because they want to bait him because of the deliverance, you know?
Right, and all the survivors are healthy. You do have a borrowed time up, and like Nemesis isn't able to fully camp properly. And the deliverance play, you see it there, sprint burst to give him a little bit of distance, and I imagine these survivors have more than enough to take the hits here. However, Ace does go down, a little bit of a misplay unless there is a DS to here. Yeah, I imagine you do push the survivors out. Hopefully, no, we're gonna live forever to pick them up. Honestly, it would be great here
right now.
if the zombie was nearby, because then with the zombie, you could at least, pick them up into the deliverance, let the zombie do the down again, but I don't know if that's what we're going to see here. I don't know if they do get the pickup, so this might be no, that's an unbreakable, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Ace should have their sprint burst up soon. I don't know if they're going to be able to get out, though. There's not enough time for them to get the sprint burst up, and the whip only hits through one person. They might be able to get the 4-out after all.
They might do this right now, yeah.
I don't think they're able to get the distance. That would have been the shot right there. I don't know if they're going to be able to get it. Nah, the Meg takes the hit.
Wow.
And the survivors are able to get the 4-outs. Honestly, just from a killer perspective, soul-crushingly good survivor play from Saloedi there.
Absolutely, man. They knew what they were doing. I mean, that deliverance play helped them out a lot. But even at the end, when Unbreakable happened, they were able to gain a lot of distance from our killer.
I'm gonna have to hold you up there. They brought off the record, and it makes sense because it can trigger zombies when nobody's there.
Holy smokes, dude.
That is straight dank tech from these survivors. Hats off. I would never in a million years thought I'd see off the record workout in a comp match, and I think they actually got it to work a couple times. Wow.
Yeah, they did. That's pretty cool.
You saw it here first. Off the record, viable in comp? Question mark. Is this the new clickbait title for our next video? Oh my word!
Honestly, that was awesome. We keep going back to the fact that they're able to have time, to prepare. That is so cool to see, off the freaking record. When did you expect that?
I would never have expected in a million years. If you had told me again, I'm talking like that's Deadlock. I was like, Deadlock, not a shop. At least Deadlock has value. Off the record. I'm at a loss for words. This happens way more than it should now. I hope that it's not a constant. Okay, I hope that it's a constant and we keep seeing the craziness happen. But I hope it's not a constant. I hope I can finally learn to have words when these crazy things happen.
Yeah,
that's
like
why I love going over the
off
perks
the
at the
record,
end.
Yeah,
exactly.
Holy crap.
Yeah, Wow. I'm just kind of stunned. That's why I love looking at the perks at the end of the game, because I love to see what the survivors are trying to come up with. And honestly, the rest of their stuff honestly seem pretty standard. The lucky break, the iron will, that's kind of what you'd expect. Hopefully they'll take the chase of that person. That you lose them,
Kinship.
reset it. Yeah, exactly. But I would never have expected off the record. So I think we saw a gen actually pop once or twice like that. So off the record might have been getting used there a couple times to make sure that the zombies were getting pulled to gens that didn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to talk to the Survivor team and what went into their mindset of bringing off the record, because
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty cool. I that's Man, I'm blown away right now.
I am too. That was, again, I think that like I don't think that the killer necessarily did particularly anything wrong, so to speak, but I think it was just the fact that survive, like, it's a strong map for survivors if the killer is M1, which granted Nemesis is, but also the survivors just played so well. Again, waiting out that corrupt for almost a minute and a half against the Nemesis, and then as soon as it's up, it's like a form of vultures descending on the gens. It's just one after the other. Even despite deadlock, they had the deadlock as soon as they knew it. They had the counterplay. They had that gen 99 the entire time. The fact that it was the gen that was being 99 was one in the 3 gen is just insult to injury, it feels like.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, they were freaking vultures. That corrupt zone got out. It was They were on it, man. And so, I mean, props to our Survivor team for, like you said, not only did they wait out corrupt, they didn't do a gen, dude. They didn't even touch a gen until it was like they were done with it, and then they went to work. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty cool, and man, good stuff.
For sure, for sure. And just, I'm not saying it's out of the question here for the survivors. Again, I don't know if Oni's particularly oppressive on this step. Again, the same thing is like at the end of the day, without like any kind of tile counterplay, they're an M1 killer in those. Essentially, I know the suffocation pit is the mine shaft, but the suffocation pit as a killer main feels like that center choke point. So we'll see how they play around. I imagine survivors are constantly going to be swarming there to make sure that the killers deny it any power, but they brought an Oni for the reason. Maybe we'll just see what they do. I don't know if this is one of the situations where it was a different map, and because of, again, the recent patch shifting everything up, if it switched to Suffolk Pit and they just kept their Oni pick or not.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, yeah, I mean, what do you do with Oni?
Mm-hmm.
Around the middle part. That's going to be the deciding factor.
Right. I guess the benefit is that if you get a server to a dead zone, you're almost guaranteed a hit. And I'm curious to see how they play Oni too. We've seen what's it called, Brutal Strength early day, which is what I was brought into Oni as knowing is a good perk. I've also seen Play with Your Food do some work on Oni before. I was surprised at that. We'll see what they're playing here. I'm curious to see how Saloedi plays Oni in that regard, just to see. Usually we see static 4 perks, but Oni is a little bit of a flex slot because you do really need to help us chase, because, yeah, let's face it, if you don't get a hit, you are a 115 killer that's just hanging around, no power.
Yo, and that's what separates like your good Oni games over your bad Oni games. Is like what you do with your power
Mm-hmm.
quick, right? If it takes your power a long time to get it down, that can be mind crushing, dude.
Mm-hmm. I would say so, at least. And
So,
I'm also
we'll see
curious.
what happens.
I'm curious to see if we might see Cerebral Assassins take a page out of Saloedi's book so far and try and wait out Corrupt. Again, I'm so impressed that they were able to wait out Corrupt almost entirely both games. One in game one they did it completely, and almost entirely in game number 2. So we'll see if I don't know if Cerebral Assassins is going to try and do that same play, hide out Corrupt. But at this point, if they're getting away with it, you think it might be a good play potentially.
Yeah, I mean, both times Corrupt was almost gone or gone,
Mm-hmm.
and they started doing their business. I think it takes like a lot of mental to like, you know, wait out and then go, okay, let's start the game now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as a killer, you kind of have some nerves going, okay, holy crap, I don't have anybody down. My corrupted intervention is now gone.
Mm-hmm.
What am I gonna do? And so I think it's a little bit mental back and forth of going, ah, look at us. We just literally made you into a 3 perk killer, and you got nobody. And then our killer going, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah, that's very, very fair. And also worth noting, I'm wondering on the again Survivor side, I'm wondering if the perks are going to be a similar line of like how to counterplay twins, because you do want to get fast deals. You don't want to be injured for super long, because we've seen a lot of Onis bring Splintered Hull and just blood banks everywhere, whether it's under a hook, on a gen, in the middle of nowhere, just blood banks lying around. And faster heal speed, you would imagine, would meet into less blood banks, but I don't know if it's an exact tit for tat for twins. I'd imagine it'd be something similar, like the we'll make it botany knowledge. We're gonna live forever. I don't, because again, Oni really benefits from slugging tactics as well. Not too honestly. Now that I say that, I don't think we've actually seen too many Oni slugs that often. Usually, if they get a hit, they'll just do the pickup and save their power, because I guess with Splinter Hull you can get your power back. I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic. Usually Oni slugs out and then goes for the pickups, but recently they've been picking up and just getting their power back. So
yeah, I mean, especially with Oni, I think the latter is what you would go for. Like you get somebody down, you get them back up, and you get your power back, because I just feel like with Oni, if you try to slug, most of the time it goes bad. You just lose your power, and then you give the survivors more time to do their generators and just pick somebody up, get your power back up, and keep going.
Yeah, especially I guess if you can do the call as like, hey, they're slugging, run for the hills. I guess in specific situations, if the survivors are caught out, unawares, there's nothing for them to hide in, or there's multiple people nearby. Maybe if you're able to get a really cheeky hit on the person that's unhooking, and trigger the borrowed time, get the person unhooked down, then follow up after the person that got borrowed time. But I don't think we've seen that yet per se. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. Again, we just talk about hypotheticals here, what we might see, what we might not see, what we've seen before. But ultimately, it's just a matter of what we see here as we are loading in now. And again, I'm not hitting on console players here, but it's nice when everybody's PC, because the loading times are like 15 seconds. It's just really, really quick, especially if everybody's got the solid state hard drives. It's just really nice. And we're going to be in here, and it's dystrophy on the Oni. And it looks like they spawned on a bit of a hill here. And there's that corrupt.
Yep.
Similar corrupt to what we had earlier with the Nemesis. However, the gen, there's nothing here in the center, so it looks like a 4-gen on the Suffo side.
Absolutely, a little bit similar corrupt. And now we'll see what Cerebral Assassins does.
Yep, and I think CA might be doing a similar tactic of hiding out the corrupt, which again, hiding out corrupt is, I say that, and they popped a totem on the other side? I'm guessing survivors might have spawned somewhere over here, so no, they're gonna go straight into it. They see this 4-gen, they're like, we don't like this. We're gonna be all up in your business. I imagine we're gonna see pre-dropping pallets everywhere. Someone taking the vault to the window, and Fang is gonna be caught out here. Yeah, and they are gonna take a hit of the pallet.
What a good hit.
They very, how would you say, practiced, did not throw it, and yeah, we see that splintered hull and the Akito's crutch. This Fang is going to be leaking blood for days here, as they are going to go ahead and break this door. Fang, I think, might be getting... Oh, my... See what I'm saying? Like, look at how much blood happens when you, like, vault. Look at the blood this Fang is leaving everywhere.
And this is a bad place for Fang to be, because you can get it down and your power.
Ooh, dead hard.
Ooh, nice dead hard, though.
Cheeky dead hard. And they are closing in here, almost getting... And yeah, we do see the down. About 30 seconds left on this scrub, and they're going to go straight for the hook. I'm surprised they didn't fully get their power. I guess maybe they wanted to... They might be hiding the fact that they have splintered hull here, as if you do play against Oni enough, you do recognize when the killer has it, because you get that hit, and then, without hitting anybody later, you just get their powers like, oh, that's splintered hull. And that maybe what they're doing here is maybe trying to make the survivors feel complacent, or maybe they want to be able to trigger when they feel like it there. No, I don't know what their reasoning is for, I guess
I thought maybe they would have 99'd it or something like that, but no, now it's kind of like a interesting place. Ooh.
Yeah, and they do find this Kate here, and they are going not for the Kate, 180ing around and seeing if anybody's going to come for the unhook, and seeing no scrap. They do find the Steve, and they are going to have to work on this. Remember, vacuum, we said this before, there is no vacuum pallets in this game right now, which means that you get hits over the pallet, and Steve is going to take a hit here before he can get to the window, and there you see it. They are leaving them slugged there, and they're going to go protect this hook, and this is a very potent position to be in for this killer.
Absolutely.
They're going to lose their power here, but they guarantee the second stage. Oh man.
Well, and you have someone slugged, and you know where they're at. You have someone on hook. You basically are trying to bait somebody to come get somebody.
Mm-hmm. And worth noting, I think if a survivor dies here, the survivors can't pull out the set either. It is kind of a do or die situation. I guess unless if one person dies and all 3 other survivors get out without being hooked, you might have something, but I don't know the point scenario on that. But
right, and Steve trying to bait. Steve trying to bait hard, dude.
Mm-hmm. You might as well. It is a chase you would want to take here, and I don't think that Fang's timer is pausing. It is still continuing to go down. We didn't see deadlock, so the survivors do. I'm guessing they know that they can just start popping gens willy-nilly. We do see one there. I imagine a second one here to pop any second. Yeah, I think they're just going to do the strat of do gens and let the person get out. There is going to be, well, and I say that Steve hasn't healed yet, so he is leaking blood everywhere. And yeah, there's that 3rd gen. So 3 gens done. 1 survivor is about to go to death hook here. I said that. I think Poofy's timer is paused, so that is kinship. Steve did proc it there, getting close enough to proc it, and that might have been what they were trying to cat and mouse earlier. So gonna be buying them crucial time to finish these gens here.
This is beautiful timing.
Mm-hmm.
Like being able to do that, and then basically, I mean, our killer could probably get a 1K, maybe 2 out of this, but now we see our survivor team trying to go for the save.
All right. Oh, taking the hit, and they are going to get the power. This could.
Wow.
Okay, never mind. They're not going to pop their power. Instead, they're going to get the M1s. Another gen popping on the safe side. So the corrupt is split here, and the Fang is going to dead hard. No, that wasn't a dead hard.
No.
That was weird. Okay, never mind. I thought that was a dead hard, and they just got body blocked. But no, they have their dead hard still, and they're going to go for it. Is there a decisive? No decisive from this Fang Min. So they are going to go to death hook here. But I imagine these survivors are going to be able to get another gen. Nia running away from one they are currently working on, but yeah, we see the Oni pop power. It just, if the survivors can get a 3 out without getting a single hook to the Oni, they have a shot here. But
absolutely,
Nia's going to play out her mind.
Here's the thing, though. I think our Fang was as surprised of that miss as we are.
Yeah, that's a fair point, and they do.
What?
Okay, so it was a grab. Okay, it just okay. That was the funky spectator bug, ladies and gentlemen. Oni is in the state. Okay, I thought Oni was going to be in a permanent state of waving his bat around. That is weird, but they do pop the jet nonetheless. And we see Noah getting him 4% speed boost here, and with instant down abilities. I imagine survivors are probably aware of this at this point, just because of the speediness of this Oni, and they haven't bothered healing. These 2 survivors are actually really close by together, and Steven's going to take the flick here, and it's going to go down. I imagine we're going to see, yeah, they're going to leave him slugged, and Kate has to make a play here. There's so long of a distance till they get to that hook, and yeah, they are found. Not getting the flick, getting some distance here, and Oni's about to lose his ability, but we'll see how Kate plays the inner tiles here as they are going for the slug play. Oni losing his power, and Kate going to get some distance, but without some kind of deliverance play or something, I don't know how the survivors are going to come back. And there we see it. They get the hit at the end. I don't think Steve has an unbreakable here. We're not seeing them get picked up. D is not deliverancing, and I think this might be the 4K at the very end here.
Yep, I think that was game for our survivor team.
They do have unbreakable. They did get back up.
What? Let's go.
Or that could be Soul Guard. That wasn't as quick as I was expecting for a normal pickup. So that might be a Soul Guard potentially from the survivor.
The depths of the shadows, dude. Steve comes back.
Indeed, but I'm curious what the Steve is going to do here. They do go for the unhook and getting Nia off. However, the killer has 6 hook states, 3 different survivors hooked. Even with a 3 out here, I think the Oni has clinched it for their team. We'll just have to see how the points add up in the end, as the survivors are not giving up here. However, Steve does take the hit at the pallet. It is going to go down. And I think this Oni, oh, that is a no way out proc.
No.
3 stacks, and I think, unless this is a soul guard from Steve, I think survivors might be lights out here. We see Nia running away, but Oni has his power, and Oni is in fact faster. We'll see how they play as
Oh. You know what's crazy is I think,
That is soul guard.
Soul Guard. That is Soul Guard.
Soul guard unbreakable from the Steve. Yeah, the Oni waiting out. He knows now. He knows. And I don't know if Steve is going to be able to get away here as the Oni is waiting it out effectively. And there you see it. They countered it out. Steve going back down. And now Oni knows, all right, I need to... well, actually, did Steve get the unhook earlier? Steve might have deliverance.
I would have hooked Steve. Maybe there are only things that Steve has deliverance, so they don't hook him.
I think that makes sense. I think
yeah,
that's
that makes
fair.
sense.
Yeah, they haven't been hooked yet. We haven't seen a deliverance play yet, unless the Poofy was a deliverance play. I think Steve would have it. I don't know. Steve does get up again. They are going to go for the unhook here. They could still get a survivor out. This killer has not clinched it yet. No way out has expired. And Steve running right back into the killer. He is more than happy to take a hit here. And he does get Pocos through the pallet there. And we'll see if they go for the hook on Steve or not, if they're going to go after the Kate. It looks like they might be trying to power up their power here, leaving Steve slugged for the 4th time. You know, at some point you think you get tired of getting picked up.
Yeah.
And yeah,
We're gonna see Steve just keep using Soul Guard.
Right? And yeah, seeing this killer, dude, Splintered Hull. Every time I see Splintered Hull, I'm just like, this perk is doing work. However, if the Oni isn't careful, Steve could go for the gate here.
Absolutely.
And it does, worth noting, the gates are on both sides, but they could still get a 2 out here against this killer so far, which would be impressively resilient on the service part. However, Kate is going to take a hit here. I don't think there's any decisive in play because it's been so long. And Oni going towards his exit, they saw the scratch marks. I wonder if Steve has resilience. I don't know, it was too soon to tell, and they are going to go down. I imagine, yeah, we'll see the pickup here. We'll see if Steve doesn't have the deliverance. I don't remember them getting a safe unhook, though. Do you?
I don't remember that either. I'm wondering now.
Yeah, fresh hook on the Steve. Well, I guess if you are, actually, would it? Okay, they're getting, yeah, we see the deliverance immediately. Immediately taking the smack to the ground. And yeah, I think we're going to wait out to the S here. Well, you can wait out the S, but there has been Soul Guard unbreakable.
That's the thing. You still have Soul Guard.
They don't care. They're going for it. Yeah, this survivor has no exhaustion perks, just all the second chances in the world, and Steve's gonna get distance. Wouldn't it be something if it turns out Steve only had Soul Guard and did have Unbreakable? Was he Unbreakable on the Kate here? Look at that power, though. Oh my word.
Yeah, this is insane.
Constantly has power. Survivors honestly have not given up it. They have done everything and not given this killer any slack whatsoever, just constant play out of their minds, but I think it is just futile in the end, as this killer is just, in the same regard, not giving them any ground themselves and is still managing to grind this game out.
Yeah, great showing by our killer. Kind of just, I mean, shoot, man, 4 Soul Guards in the game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely Soul Guard
goodness.
value. I will say I'm kind of shocked to see that Steve ran back to this area, because we know that Hatch is going to spawn here. I would have imagined they'd go to the corner of the map in the opposite direction and try and let Kate get over there, and then using Soul Guard and Unbreakable, get picked up and then finish that door potentially and force the killer to make a decision, because I don't know. It's hard to say. It's definitely very hard to say in this situation, but regardless, it looks like the Oni is going to get their 4K that they, honestly, they grabbed it and really did well, and they earned it.
Absolutely, 100% earned it.
Seeing their power, they're going to rush back now that they close the hatch. I'm wondering if we're going to see a bleed out from the survivor potentially.
Let me ask you this, Rue. Would you,
Nope, crows.
knowing that the Fang was getting camped, would you have gone for the save? Because I think that was a turning point. Because we had 2 of our survivors going for that save. They all got injured, and then Fang died. You know,
Yeah.
they were able to bring him back up. But at that point, you have all the blood in the world now, and you have
Right.
4 survivors that are now injured.
It's really hard to say. I think because, so hear me out. if you don't get that save, there is a very high chance that the next person that gets, like, there's a higher percentage chance that the next person that gets hooked is the person with deliverance. And if you don't at least get an unhook and give your deliverance person a chance to use their perk, that's a very strong second chance perk wasted that you don't get the reset on. So
Absolutely, that makes sense.
think that was the play. It's just that the specific hook placement and the way that they were able to, you know, they weren't able to wait out the corrupt fully. They did get the ruin early, so that was a very strong play on their part, recognizing that ruin got the twins a lot of value previously. They denied the Oni that power this time, but I don't know. The Oni just played really, really well and cracked, honestly.
100%. Great game, dude.
Mm-hmm. Great game indeed. And with that said, they will take home the set point here as well. So Saloedi winning the first set by a narrow margin, and then honestly having a very dominant showing here in the second set, will take home both sets and the match. And I believe the final score is 74-53. Congratulations to Elodie, GGWP to Cerebral Assassins. Honestly, this was really, really fun. Even if the last bit was a bit of a blowout to say in the second set, really strong games from both sides regardless.
Yeah, big time. Really great showings by both teams. It was some cool plays, to be honest with you. Just like even our last game, the extension of the game by Scuba Steve. You know, great games by our killers. It's just been like a good showing for both teams.
It really, really has. And with that said, that is our last match of the day. But don't fret, we will be back next week with even more matches. We are getting into the latter half of the season coming up. You don't want to miss it. And with that said, thank you, Gannicus, for joining me as co-host today. Where can we find you next time you are live?
Absolutely. I love doing this. You can find me at twitch.tv/Gannicus0_0 Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern is when we start.
All right. Thank you very much. And with that said, I am your host, littlerugaard. Again, in order to find me, LITTLERUGARD, they're probably going to do a shout out because heaven knows I barely remember how to spell it, let alone anybody else who has enough time for remembering. And we will see you all next week. You've been watching Champions of the Fog. Signing off. See you later. Have a great evening.